So I just wanted to do an update on the squash vine borer problem. I haven't done anything on that. I guess I was getting a little bored with doing videos on it, but good morning, Ginger. Anyway, I'm covering up the majority or the bases of these Seminole pumpkins, and they're growing very well. Right now our temperatures are hitting 100 every day for the next few days, and we've been in the high 90s other than that. And I just saw one of the squash vine borer moths flying through here. So we also have red wasps, so it's important not to confuse the two, especially if you're trying to swat one of the squash vine borers and you end up swatting a red wasp. You don't want that to happen. They can inflict severe pain on you. This Hubbard squash here, I've been doing surgery on numerous times. You can see that spot right there that I did surgery on last night. Last night I removed 3 large squash vine borer larvae from this plant. There's another one in that next node too. I can see its poop coming out. I'll have to try to get that one out of there if this thing makes any fruit at all. It'll be a miracle. There's another spot that I pulled one out of. Let's see, there's another spot right there. So yeah, they're winning, you know. The squash vine borers are winning. This is a, I might have said this is Hubbard, but this is one of those butter something squashes. It's a little round green squash. They get about 4 to 6 inches in diameter according to the seed packet. And there's a few on it that started developing and then turned yellow, like that often happens. There's one right there that didn't make it. There's another one down over here somewhere. And this other plant that's over here, you can see I did some squash vine extraction surgery, squash vine borer extraction surgery. And you know, and yeah, there's another spot right there. I taped it up. I found that taping it up is just doesn't work. It doesn't help. So a lot of times you're trapping them inside the vine. So this one here has a couple of squash on it. There's one right down here. I don't know if they'll make it or not with all the problems we've been having. So yeah, there it is right there. And then there's another one in and amongst my sweet potatoes. You'll have to trust me. It looks about the same as that one. Sweet potatoes are getting eaten up by grasshoppers, and so I'm not spraying anything. I don't want to risk killing bees. So we've had a pretty good bunch of bees this year. Going by my miniature jalapeno plant. Miniature jalapenos, not a miniature plant. And then over here we have the butternut squash, which is, these are just about done. They actually did make some squash, and but a lot of the branches have been destroyed by the squash vine borers, and they're looking pretty sad. This plant here, see where it's got that small squash on it? This is a butter bush, and so is that over there. And one thing I noticed, if you're looking for something that is squash vine borer resistant, they're not the pick. They definitely got attacked big time by the squash vine borers, and they succumbed to the problems. So remove that kind of dying leaf. I need to come out here and do that. But got a couple of nice butternuts here out of this. You know, I had 9 squash plants planted in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. And you know, with like the butter bush ones that each have like 1 squash on them. There's one right over there, that's a butter bush squash, that's the biggest one. And then because they've all been, you know, I've had to do surgery on all these to get the squash vine borer worms out of them. Like this one here, it's amazing that the plant is still alive and the root system is supplying nutrients to the rest of the plant. With all the places I had to cut it open and take the squash vine borers out. Even that plant, that butternut plant right there, that was a huge plant that had sprawling vines all over, but the butternut, or the vine borers, killed a lot of them. So I don't want to run this on too long, but there's a couple of nice squash on that one. And they're almost done. These are pretty close to being done. This plant here, for some reason, well, it did get attacked by them. I did surgery on this vine here. You can see down there. And there were 4 big squash vine borers in the base of the root. That plant would have died if I hadn't done that, but it's got a big butternut on it. And it's got another big one growing over there where this vine has sprawled across. And it's got a new one coming out, believe it or not. So yeah, miracles happen, I guess. But anyway, in general, pretty sad story about the squash. I had high hopes. We'll see what happens with the Seminole pumpkins. And they're getting huge, and they're sprawling all over the place over here. I've seen the squash vine borers planting eggs on them. Last night I went out and on all the areas that aren't underneath the row cover, I guess is what you call that. And there's 2 separate mounds here where there's 2 plants over there and 3 plants over here. It used to be 5 here, but I thinned them out because I thought it was too many, and I think it was. But anyway, I went through all these vines that are spread out. Yeah, there's one right there. See it right now. There's one over there laying eggs on it. See if I can get them in camera. Yeah, you got to be careful because there's wasps out here too, and they look a lot alike. See if I can find that borer. I just saw him. He disappeared he's probably down there laying eggs. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is just daily, I'm going to go and try to pick all the eggs off of them on all these vines that are sticking out under the row cover. And there's a red wasp right there. I don't know if the camera caught that or not. There's a vine borer. It's right there. And it's laying its eggs on these Seminole pumpkins, no doubt about that. It wants to get in there in the middle, as you can see, but it can't. So hopefully it won't. I don't think it can. Yeah, I scared it off. Anyway, I'll keep you updated on this. It's a sad story, but to me the moral of the story is, I've heard the story is that after the middle of July that they're supposed to stop being active. Well, I can tell you right now it's August 8th and they're still active, and I just you just saw one flying around, so they're still active. That might be true in certain regions, but here they're still active. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, share, make a comment. Let me know what's going on with your experience with squash vine borers.